May and I am 12 DPO, 12 days past ovulation. And as you guys know, my name's Ingrid, TTC for baby number 6, been trying for 2 years now with a total of 4 losses, 2 chemicals, 2 miscarriages. So obviously I'm not downbeat because I know there's something there, a seed in an egg. So it's just been a case of tweaking my self-care, my vitamins, getting some progesterone at the ready. Maybe that was why my baby didn't implant properly, because I miscarried the first time just over 6 weeks, and when it was the second time it was just under 6 weeks. So I think it was about 5 weeks 3 days the second miscarriage, and that was actually this time last year. So I found out I was pregnant, really over the moon. Knew I was pregnant for about 2 weeks and then started to bleed, so it was a bit annoying. Luckily it was an early miscarriage, so the pain wasn't as much, the bleed wasn't as much, but the emotional was awful. And it does, I think, depending on the person, miscarriage is terrible, and if you've been TTCing a long time, it really hits you hard. And I don't think it matters whether you've got babies or you're childless. I think miscarriage can hit people in different ways regardless. I don't think people should be judged. You know, I did have some nasty comments when I first miscarried saying, well, you've already got 5, you're so lucky. I know I'm blessed. We are so blessed. Our 5 children are beautiful. There's 2 girls, 3 boys. I'm over the moon with them, believe me. It's just an incomplete part of me that wants another baby. That's why I think I look a lot of the time quite drained, because it's so on my mind and it's bordering desperation. I just don't feel complete. I don't want to adopt. I don't want to go through IVF, you know, so that is telling me I am grateful for what I've already got. Because if I was being maybe thinking irrationally, I might be thinking, do you know what, let's go for IVF, sod it, let's go through all the medical reports and all the finance and let's go IVF. I'm not thinking of it selfishly, I'm thinking of my whole family whilst TTCing. I know Aaron wants to sort of call it a day the end of this year, sort of September time, if we haven't fallen, he wants to call it a day. I can't get my headspace around that yet, so I'm not thinking about that. Vashti, my tarot card reader, who I see at least 3 times a year, sees the 6th baby, sees me falling in June. She thinks it's June because it's a fire sign she keeps seeing. She did about 18 months ago see a water sign, but it only ever happened once. She went, oh, I can see you're pregnant. It's funny, I see a water sign, which I haven't seen before, but that was so long ago, and I've probably had 5 readings since that, and every other reading's been fire sign. So she said that's why she thinks it might be that I fall June. Plus, when I had my reading back middle of March, she said you're definitely deficient in, she said it's either vitamin D or iron. I'm thinking it's vitamin D, and I said it's got to be vitamin D because I'm taking an iron supplement plus eating lots of iron rich food. So she said yes, it's definitely something like that. It's almost your body's yearning for it, so maybe increase vitamin D, which would take any normal body to absorb a vitamin and get benefits from it, takes 90 days. That is just fact. When you start taking a vitamin, you don't always get instant results. Even if you take it orally in its purest form, you don't always see the results. Sometimes you can get results like 8 weeks, but usually it takes 3 months to get benefits from a vitamin. That's whether you're taking evening primrose oil, if you're going through the menopause or painful periods, or if you're taking, I don't know, multivitamins. You will never feel the benefits for a couple of months to 3 months. So she said to increase vitamin D, which, as you guys know who follow me, I bought the Viridian purest form of vitamin D in a liquid off Amazon, $11.99 for a pipette, and you get quite a good sized bottle. It gives you, they reckon, about 60 servings, but Aaron and I are both having a pipette of that a day, because Aaron was like, do you know what, I am a little bit achy and it might really boost my immune system as well. So he was happy to do that because he hasn't had his vaccination yet either. He's sort of holding off on his vaccination just a little bit. I don't think it's to do with TTC, because he has said, I'm doing what I want to do with this. If you fall pregnant, brilliant. If you don't, you don't. He said, I'm not giving up my alcoholic drink at the weekend. He likes his beers. He's not giving up his 2 to 3 cups of caffeine a day. He's not going for a sperm check, and he definitely won't be holding off on the vaccine just because there might be, like, we don't know whether it affects your sperm or anything yet, because there's not enough readings or research into that yet. We just know that it can help prevent, catch and pass on the COVID, which is great. But I've read 2 different reports. One says get it before you start TTCing, and don't start TTCing for at least 2 months. And then it says it should be fine in the 3rd trimester. Then I've looked at another report saying it's best to put all TTC on hold if you're having the vaccination, which I haven't got that pleasure. If I was in my late 20s, early 30s, or hadn't got any kids and we were just starting this fertility journey, I would definitely have my COVID vaccine, 100%, and I'd just wait my gap, have my 2nd vaccine, wait 2 months, and then start trying. However, what makes me a bit anxious is the research. Now, Maggie, hi darling, ages ago she sent me this little printout sheet via Instagram just to say, no one's going to judge you not having the vaccine. I'm not having it. I'm in the early stages of pregnancy. I don't believe in vaccines anyway. Each to their own. I'm not judging. I don't care whether people have vaccines or not. Each to their own. I'm not here to judge that, and I don't ever really want to discuss the topic because I have my own views and I really don't want to discuss that. It's not a comfortable thing that I want to judge or talk about. I don't know enough to discuss vaccinations. So I'm not going to discuss that. Or, you know, I do want the vaccination, but what's totally putting me to one side is I'm slightly older. I've been TTCing for, as you guys know, 2 years. Time is not on my side with Aaron. I'm not saying time's not on my side biologically, because I think, you know, babies can be born perfectly healthy and happy to a woman naturally. I've been reading up on people having babies up to the age of 48 naturally, and there's been no evasive stuff done. Do you know what I mean? They've just basically had good self-care, good vitamins, regular intercourse, and they might have had the odd sperm check, but they've been having babies up to 48. So I think if you're in good health and you know that the sperm and the egg are definitely there, and you just might need to just tweak the timing of intercourse, vitamins, you know, it could just be something really simple like that, or you might need a bit of detoxing, a bit of reflexology, a bit of acupuncture, something really natural that'll just clear lines for you, get the adrenals going. You know, you might just have very slight blockage, whereas reflexology, Reiki and acupuncture can clear that if you believe in it. It's just a little bit of holistic approach, making you more relaxed. There are things like castor oil packs as well, which are really, really good. I've not used them, but I've had friends that do as a part of detoxing. I think you normally do that around, actually I'm not even going to advise when that is, but I'm pretty sure you use the castor oil packs when you're not TTC, and I think it's just before and during your period, but you might want to check that. But there's lots of ways. You do not need to just spend fortunes on going to private hospitals, getting ultrasounds and blood tests and all of that done straight away. I strongly advise, I'm not medically trained, believe it or not. I am a holistic therapist trained, but I'm not medically trained. I'm not a midwife, I'm not a doctor. I'm just saying I truly believe holistic approach is better. First, I think go down the self-care route for at least a year before you start looking into shit, there's something wrong with me and my husband. Because in the olden days they sort of said if you're 2 fit healthy adults and you don't fall within 3 months, there's a problem, and 6 months there's a problem. I think especially if you've had miscarriages, you know the sperm's there, you know the egg's there, it could just be a case of getting that sperm nice and strong and just cutting things out of your diet. It could be really simple. So I do truly believe get your self-care tuned before you panic, 100%. And then if after a year you think, do you know what, there is something wrong, then go and source other things. By all means, go and do it. But I truly think holistic's good. Going back to the vaccines, so I'm not one to judge on vaccines. I'm just saying, I just had a loose conversation with a good friend, Maggie, on my Instagram. We've been in touch loads because we've both been TTCing, we've both had losses, we've both got children already. She's just fallen for her 4th, but she's had terrible losses before, chemicals, she's had a loss quite later on down the line. It's been truly traumatic for her as well. So we've been sort of in tune with each other, and of course we don't want to disturb what's going on in our body. She's also in a place where COVID isn't really apparent in Sydney, so you know, Australia's been very, very lucky. They haven't been hit hard with COVID, whereas obviously the UK, dare I say it, India now. For goodness sake, it's awful. I just feel so sorry for the civilians there. It's just terrible, absolutely terrible. And you know, the strains are still out there, so we need protection, obviously. So yes, I would be definitely wanting the vaccine, but like I say, time's not on my side for the TTC inside of it, because if I go and have my vaccine today, for instance, which I could do, because now I did have the excuse a few weeks ago when my husband said, are you going to get it or not? And I'm like, I don't know that I want it. And he said, oh, for God's sake, you had the invitation like 2 weeks ago. And I'm like, yeah, but they're offering me like miles away. They were offering me Isle of Wight, which would mean me getting a ferry over. Literally, I was like, I'm not going to travel 2 hours for a vaccine that I'm not 100% I want straight away. And then they were offering me another place, Southampton, which from me is an hour and a half drive. I just can't. No, if I'm getting somewhere 10 minutes away, perfect. 15 minutes max, don't want anywhere else. So I used that as an excuse, because I didn't want to say to Aaron, oh, the TTC journey, blah blah blah, because the more I bombard him with things about trying for a baby, he really goes off the boil about it. Because Aaron is firmly in the camp of, we'll have unprotected sex. If you get pregnant in the next 6 months, brilliant. If you don't, we've got 5 beautiful kids we've got to deal with our life. That's how he's feeling. Now, a lot of you might watch my channel and think, he's right, you should really just put a cut-off point. I'm not in that headspace. Some of you ladies will be totally understanding me. There's just a part of me inside, I can't get rid of my baby stuff. I can't contemplate not having a baby. I just can't go down that route. And although in my head I know Aaron's like, yeah, we'll try up to beginning of September and that's it. And if he does start, you know, wearing protection and not wanting to do it, I'm gonna have to deal with that as it comes, but I can't think of that yet. So this vaccine I've put off, and the reason being, like I say, so Maggie sent me some gump through of another report saying it's not safe through breastfeeding. Doctors can't categorically say it is, so it's best to hold off whilst TTCing and breastfeeding. They're saying it's best to have the jab, go back and have your other jab, and then start trying to conceive. That's what the report says. Or it says if you're pregnant, wait until you're in 3rd trimester. But if you're in any doubt at all, just wait till you've had the baby, because there's not enough studies out there to say it's 1000% safe with pregnancy. So you've really got to just judge it. I think if you're young, you've got lots of time on your side, you know that you're not that desperate for a baby, I think have your jab maybe if that's what you want to do. Then have your next lot of the jabs, then wait 2 whole months like it's recommended. Then the whole of the toxins are out of your body and you can start clean and fresh. A bit like when I told you last vlog that I got the pill out my system a whole year before we tried for a baby. I just believe in getting your body in tip-top condition before you want to embrace that baby. But I'm just, for me, I am literally saying, yes, I want the vaccine. Yes, I think it's a great idea, but for me, I cannot have it at the moment because time is not on my side. If I come on my AF, say in the next 2 days, and I could think, okay, I'll go and get a jab, I've got to go and get my next one within 11 weeks. I think it's 8 to 11 weeks later. That will take me into blooming August, September time. Then they're recommending you leave 2 months to get it all properly out your system. It would mean that I'd have to start trying in November, December. I can't do that. So I'm just hoping and praying that I'm pregnant. And if God forbid I'm not pregnant and it doesn't happen, I'm just going to have to get my injection in September. God willing that I am pregnant, and God willing I don't catch COVID. But I am doing all the precautions. I'm healthy. I'm self-testing if I have to. I don't do that a great deal because I haven't got many tests. I just borrowed one off the kids a couple of times. I wear a mask, I wash my hands regularly, I'm using hand gel all the time, I'm social distancing, and we've not had anyone other than my mum in my house, and that was back in Easter. So, you know, I'm not visiting friends yet. When I have done, it's been in the garden. So I'm just going to try and keep that in place for myself, especially if I fall pregnant. I don't want to be in close proximity of people without masks and things. I've not hugged anyone other than my children, my husband and my mum, and I don't think I will be. I would love to throw my arms around Jan, but I think she'd be even apprehensive because I haven't had my jab. I'm on my way to Jan's now, reflexology. I'm going to cut it to once a week now, just because I'm in my 2-week wait. But as you know, if I come on AF, I will come here twice a week to get the adrenals going, which is the blood flow, which will get everything out. It'll get all the toxins out my body, really get that period going, and then it'll get the egg moving, which is great if I'm not pregnant. Again, some of you guys do acupuncture, which is another great, I believe that you get similar benefits. I don't have acupuncture, never have done. I think I've had it once, years ago. I didn't enjoy it actually. I just love my feet being touched, and I think I just get more benefit from reflexology. I get a lot. I don't really take painkillers for my back at all. I think the last time was winter time when I took a couple because it was cold. I really don't have to take painkillers. I may have to take the occasional paracetamol when I'm in labour because of the back pain I get with that, but literally I'm very, very, very lucky. So yeah, I'm off to Jan's. I know I've babbled on a hell of a lot about vaccinations, but I don't want you to think that I'm flippant and I'm not worrying about self-care myself. I want you to know I'm not a hypocrite. I'm up to date with my smear. I'm due that mid-2022, so I think it's May 2022. So again, if I don't fall pregnant, God forbid, I will probably have that a little bit earlier, but I don't want to smear just now because it's only a year ago that I had my last one, so I don't want to go too early because you don't get the benefits of a smear if you have it too early. So if I went now, it might not detect anything, whereas, you know, I don't want it to not detect something if there is something there. There are dangers of going too early for a smear. That's why they say go every 3 years, but I like to go every 2 years. Anyway, my self-care is up to date. I'm really looking forward to getting pregnant. Vashti said it won't be this month, it'll be next month, but I don't want to even think about that because I will cry. I'm parking next to Jan's car, it's so bloody tight. She said loads of her neighbours have complained about me parking up the road because my car's so big. Anyway, I'm going to get back to you after my reflexology so that this can be an extra long vlog for you guys. See you later. Hi guys, so I've just had reflexology with Jan. It's an hour after my last vlog. After my last bit of vlog. So yeah, I've just had really good reflexology. She avoided all the womb, ovarian, fallopian, fertility lines, all of that she avoided, and she only half-heartedly worked on the adrenals. She didn't want to get too, she knows what to do because she does like reflexology in pregnant women anyway, and usually it's best to just stop reflexology in the 2-week wait right up until you know whether you're on your period or not, if you're not like 100% knowing what you're doing. But like I say, Jan's been sort of doing reflexology over 20 years now, so she's very well aware of all the lines you do not touch and all the areas you don't touch or stimulate. So as I say this to you all the time, I am in my 2-week wait, but whilst I was pregnant last time and the time before, I did have reflexology still, but just not working over those areas. So yeah, she's just worked on my back and my sinuses and all the bits that really benefit me. Because as you know, I do have reflexology anyhow when I'm not TTCing, just for my back pain relief. Sorry if you can hear noise, there's builders and bulldozers and everything going on around here. It's really busy. Yeah, so she's worked on all the lines, but when I say the adrenals, I was like, oh, I don't want the blood flow too much because I don't want my AF to start, but she said, oh, it's not connected in that way, so don't worry. So she sort of stimulated it as much as she wanted to, but she's not touched anything which would affect implantation or any early pregnancy or anything if I am pregnant. She sort of said to me, oh, I did the crystal last night. Now, she's not done the crystal for me for about 3 or 4 weeks, and last time she did say, the crystal did say it could see a pregnancy. The crystal's a bit hit and miss, I think. I don't think it's as reliable as tarot cards. I do believe in the crystal healing, 100%, but when it's crystal readings, I don't know. Some are really spot on and some can be really hit or miss. I know when I was having my 3rd baby, the crystal got it bang on. I was having a boy, it was going to be early. It was so brilliant what Jan found out from the crystal. But I know with my 4th, it was like always going on hesitating for boy and girl, and then it was sort of swaying towards a girl, and we really thought it was going to be a girl. And also we were just having fun with it, and a few of the answers were wrong. So there's bits of the reading that's a bit skeptical for me with the crystal. It's not as reliable for me, I don't think, but it's a nice indicator and I just enjoy it. I mean, anything to do with TTC and holistic is my bag. I love it. And I've got a very open mind, and that is probably why I put so much faith into Reiki and reflexology. I think you've got to believe in these things for them to work. But without going off the beaten track here, she did the crystal. She said, I did the crystal for you last night. And I said, what did it say? She said, oh, it was really weird. I said, what sign will Ingrid's baby be? And we went through all the signs, meaning, you know, whether it's what element it's going to be, which falls what zodiac. And she said it kept going water, yes for water. And I went, well, I think if I'm pregnant now, it'd be due latter January, like 20 something. So that would be either, I think that would be Aquarian, because I think Aquarian falls like the 24th of January. I can't guarantee that until I get back to my books, but Aquarian's a water sign, so is Piscean, I think. So it could possibly be a water sign if I'm pregnant now. But she said it kept going really mad for water sign this time. She said, which is really weird, because it's been fire, fire, fire when I've done the readings. Because she did a reading for me like 3 weeks ago. She said, yeah, it's going to be a fire sign and you're definitely having a 6th baby. And then she did me a reading December time, and it said there was going to be a pregnancy possibly March. When she said, will Ingrid be pregnant, and went through all the dates, it swung for March quite a bit. Now that's where I'm like sceptical, because obviously I wasn't pregnant in March and I didn't have a chemical in March or anything, so that was completely wrong. But there's MA in the first beginning of the month, isn't there? May, March, MA. See, do you know what I mean? You know, but again, when she does the reading, she says, will Ingrid have a baby? It says yes. Will Ingrid be pregnant? Yes. Will Ingrid have a baby number 6? Yes. And then when she gets to things like, will it be born early? Yes and no. But then when she gets to what months and things, it's all a bit sceptical. But she said the crystal every time says Ingrid's definitely going to have a baby, Ingrid's definitely going to be pregnant, Ingrid's definitely going to have a baby number 6. That all comes out swinging in a circle, like blatantly yes. But like I say with Jan, she's had yeses to different months. But it did come out water sign. So, but the December reading, I think it said fire sign. But anyway, that's hearsay. That is just basically Jan having a bit of fun when she's on her own. She cleanses her crystal and does readings occasionally for friends. And I love it. She doesn't charge for it. It's just something she enjoys doing. A bit like when she charges all her crystals up in the moon. She does it just out the goodness of her heart. And I just grasp it and embrace it as kindness. And I'm just happy that she's thinking of me and wishing all the best for me. So she sees a baby and she says she thinks I'm going to be pregnant. She sort of said, any news? I said, no. Well, I've done a pregnancy test blank yesterday. Oh, which brings me on to what I was saying. I'm 12 DPO, so I did a first response on 8 DPO blank as. My second first response was at 9 DPO blank as. So I was really pissed off because they cost me 11 quid. And then I left it 10 DPO, and then yesterday I did one, a cheapy one at 11 DPO, and it was blank as, a Wilco's one. And today and I did a monitor one. So they do recommend on that fertility monitor that you test the day your period's due. It says it can give you a 74% yes success rate on 3 days before, and it's like 80 something 2 days before and 90 something 1 day in the day of your period. So basically the monitor asks you to insert a pregnancy test the day your period's due. My period is due Thursday, so at the moment it's flashing 2 days before I'm due on, and I just peed on a stick, dipped it for 20 seconds like you're meant to, put it in the machine, and it said not pregnant. I took the monitor stick out, this was yesterday at 11 DPO, not a little splurge on it at all. Now I know digital readings do sometimes have a faint line. I think when you pull them apart, which you're not meant to do, the digital ones do have a very, very faint second line. Okay, I don't know if that's always, but it has been known to have a faint line and still be negative. That doesn't necessarily mean it's a positive test, because you're not meant to pull open the tests. But I did last time and I had a faint line and I was getting really hopeful. That was like a 10 DPO and I wasn't pregnant. Yesterday I did a monitor pregnancy test. It was negative on the machine and I pulled it apart and there was not even a tiny line. This morning it says not pregnant at 12 DPO. Have I said that right? So yesterday I was 11 DPO and it was not pregnant on my fertility monitor. Reason me using those, I've got so many of those pregnancy test sticks. I've got, I think, another 6 left that I'm like, I don't really want to go and buy loads more tests because I've just spent all that money on first response for 8 and 9 DPO, which I wished I'd never done because I've never really tested that early anyway, as in like had a result. When I had my losses, I got faints at 10 and 11 DPO, but with all my successful pregnancies, I've always tested the day before my period and it's been positive. So yeah, I did have a late positive, didn't I, when I had a miscarriage as well. But what I'm saying is I don't generally show very early. But anyhow, I did the first response because I felt like testing this cycle. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. But the monitor yesterday at 11 DPO was no pregnant, not pregnant. Opened it all up, not even a squifter of a line. Today I've done it, it says not pregnant. Looking at it in a light, there's a faint line. But then, like Maggie, my friend who I was on about a minute ago, she said, you did do this, didn't you, a few cycles ago? And I did it in March, and there was a line and I wasn't pregnant. So although it's lovely to see somewhat of a line, I don't, you know, it gives me hope. I can't read too much into it because it's not like getting a faint line on a dip test. It is different. The digitals and the monitors are totally different. My friend Kate, who's pregnant now, like 4 months pregnant, due in October, she didn't have any pregnancy tests and it was the day before her period was due, and she just said, oh, I just dipped one of those monitor sticks in my wee and looked at it and it was quite a good line. So that's when she said, oh, I thought I was pregnant. She went out, you know, the day of her period and bought a first response and she was pregnant. But she hasn't got a monitor that you stick the pregnancy tests in, but the packs still come with the pregnancy tests. She's got the older edition. So, you know, I think you could just get a general idea. But anyway, I greeted Jan today and I said, I'm 12 DPO, I haven't come on, like, I'm not due until Thursday, probably Thursday, Friday at the latest. I don't feel particularly pregnant apart from CM, lots of, and I'm extra thirsty, which is a good sign. No symptoms really, my boobs are not completely blank, no sensitivity, there's a little bit there, but I do get a little bit of that when I'm ovulating and sometimes when I come on. But symptom wise, it's really only the CM. I am really hot at the moment, like if I'm in shops and that, I feel hot, and at night I'm hot, and I do get that when I'm just about to come on and when I'm pregnant. So again, this is what we always talk about, isn't it? The symptoms of coming on your period and the symptoms of early pregnancy are so similar. You can feel heady, you can feel dizzy, you can feel hot flushes. This is all symptomatic to ovulation as well. So I don't want to symptom spot and get my hopes up too much because I just don't know. But usually the CM is sort of dries up a day before I come on, and it's still there well and good at the moment. So that is a good sign. And I am thirsty. But yeah, Jan just said, I think you are pregnant this cycle. She said this Crystal sees a pregnancy this cycle in a water. But like I say, Jan has got that wrong. The Crystal has got that wrong a few times. So I'm just going on. It'd be amazing if I'm pregnant. Sorry, my battery's going now. Yeah, so I'm just hoping I am pregnant. If I am, brilliant, amazing. Thank you, God. Thank you, everyone. If I'm not, fuck it, I've got to try again. But I'll get back to you again soon. Love to all, friendship to all. Hi to all my friends out there, TTC, and let me know where you are in your stage. There's nothing more really to say. I know I've gobbledygooked about lots of things like vaccinations and all of that, but it's just really to have a catch up and say I'm here for you guys. And yeah, I'm really hopeful that I'll fall this cycle or next cycle, but it's got to be next cycle if it's what Vashti sees, if it's not this cycle. And again, I could be fertile the 3rd of June if I have a 14-day ovulation, or it could be the 10th of June if I'm slightly later ovulating, and that does bring me onto a March baby fire sign. But who knows? I just don't know. I just want to be pregnant. I really don't give a damn about the signs. Don't really care about whether it's boy or girl now. I just want a healthy pregnancy and be blessed with a baby. So love to all, friendship to all, thumbs up, and please, please, please subscribe. Those subscribers are going up gradually. See you later, guys.